Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you, October 21st, 2025. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. I'm TJ Walker, joined in studio with Stephen Peak. Our producer is producer Matt Childress. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Happy lunchtime to you. Producer Matt, we are going backwards on the YouTube page, producer Matt.
Yeah, you remember that thing that happened a couple weeks ago where I opened the YouTube scene and then everything had exploded and moved all around everywhere? And
I do.
Yeah, that happened again, so I'm having to rebuild it by hand once again.
Well, there's a couple things. First and foremost, I noticed that yesterday when the show started, everything was good. But I guess you just couldn't keep it. And then it went away, and then you brought it back, and then it went away, but you just couldn't, I guess, maintain that, that level for me.
I don't know what was going on. So now we're starting fresh all over again, and we're going to build her back up once again.
Can you leave a note for the weekend, folks, and just be like, stop doing it?
See, I think that it's genuinely just something with this, like the software, because the KRC logo that like covers up the little like Facebook thing, if I take it off, the whole like Facebook thing is like pushed off the page and extended, and I can't shorten it. Like it's something built in to the scene. So it's something where when I duplicate the other scene, it just breaks everything. So I don't know how to fix it.
You're a smart young man. You're going to figure it out. I was talking more about you did all undercase lettering on the KRC.
Oh, that one probably hit caps lock. Caps lock must have already been on.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Just not very excited for KRC today.
Not excited. Sorry, guys.
Just kind of like a Kentucky roll call type of day. We are on the YouTube. I'm just kidding. You'll get it looking pretty at some point. You're probably just like, can I just not have to deal with it? Wouldn't that be cool too?
I think I'll just make all the pictures on it lowercase. Like I'll just make them smaller enough that you can't see.
You could do that as well.
So maybe like somebody's watching, like they're just like, I gotta really look into this YouTube page so I can see what's going on.
There you go. But I know the only thing is the microphones aren't as great on the YouTube cameras. Just not as good as they are on the radio. But besides that, feedback on the YouTube page has been really good. People enjoy being able to watch it. Podcast listeners say, yeah, just kind of watch that instead of doing the podcast now, have it on in the background. It's nice. So join us there, comment, share, do whatever you care to do. Stephen Peak, how are you?
Doing good. That was our first time doing that remote thing yesterday. So I felt like I didn't like that. We'll get better at it, but I like to be able to see your face in person when we do this.
Yeah,
back and forth.
Yeah, there's a learning curve to all that.
It is a different vibe.
Yeah, it is.
Certainly a different vibe. And it was a different vibe on Monday at Mark Stoops' press conference. Talked about it yesterday. He was basically apologizing to the fans, and he kind of did that on Saturday night as well. That's a different Mark Stoops than I've seen this year, honestly. We went through some old press conferences. I sent those to our group chat last week. This was Mark Stoops after a loss a couple years ago. Here's Mark Stoops after losing to Georgia, after losing to South Carolina, where he was basically just, it is what it is. Our guys played hard, but we just didn't get the win. That was a different vibe on Saturday. And every year you get one of these, and it's not unique to Kentucky, but I'm watching the travel video. I edited that this morning. It'll be up on KSR's YouTube channel, and you can see just the light go out of my eyes on that fourth down play, because it was the first time in the game that I thought Kentucky's actually going to win. They're going to pull this off, because I knew if they scored a touchdown, they were going to win. And you get so close, and I'm still like I'm kind of still upset about it. And it's the season for me ended in South Carolina. And I thought there would be no way you could get me interested enough again that I could have my heart broken. And that's exactly what happened. And now this week, there's 2 games on the schedule now that for me I wouldn't say salvage the season, but would at least give me something. Beat Tennessee or beat Louisville. If you can pull off either of those, it doesn't save the season. But at least for me as a Kentucky fan, it gives me something to hang my hat on for this year. Because right now, all we have is Toledo, Eastern Michigan, and taking Texas to overtime.
It's not good. Would you trade some of those rivalry wins for an additional year of Mark Stoops?
No. And that there's no Mark. I don't know who said this, but it's no crying on the yacht, basically. But I couldn't help but sort of sit in that press conference, and I'm not going to say feel bad for Mark Stoops. He gets paid quite well, and if he gets that buyout, he'll get a huge chunk of change. So I don't feel bad for Mark Stoops. But it was sort of, it's like watching a breakup, and we're both trying to make this work, and it's not working, and you just feel it deteriorating every week. And then
not only the magic is gone, but it's just the want to is gone as well. So it's like we're not even fighting anymore, right? It's like we're not even arguing. It's just we've become so just distant with one another. It's you miss the fighting. You miss a fired up Mark Stoops that would be mad about a Texas loss, but
he just seems sad.
Yeah, he does.
That press conference, he just legitimately seemed sad. And I don't know if it was in your post game show or in somebody else or Matt's or whoever. I just remember Saturday hearing this felt like the last push. Like if we could beat Texas, then maybe you can beat Tennessee, probably not. But then you go to Auburn, you can win that game. Mm-hmm. You're going to play Florida, that's an interim head coach, you can win that game. Vanderbilt, you're not winning that game, but I still think in your head people just see Vandy and they think, well, we could beat Vanderbilt. We haven't lost in Nashville since, 2014? 15. Was it 15? Doesn't matter. They hadn't lost in Nashville in a while. Maybe you go down there and you get a win, and you can start to think, 7-5 again. Well, no. Now you really can't. I mean, yeah, you might be able to beat Auburn. You might be able to beat Florida, but that's really going to be it. And then you get Tennessee Tech. Maybe you can go into that Louisville game with a 5-6 record with the possibility of winning and going to a bowl. You haven't lost to Louisville in Louisville since 2014, correct?
Long time. Yeah.
So it's been over a decade.
Should have won that game for what it was worth, too.
Yeah, is that the one, the interception went through his hands?
Who, Marcus McWilson?
Yeah.
Not McClinton.
No,
McClinton was good.
Mm-hmm.
He was the rapper.
He was.
Yeah.
I was going to say he's a good football player, but even better rapper.
He absolutely was. No, I did talk about that on Saturday night, about how if you beat Texas, you would think, all right, if we beat Texas, we can beat Tennessee, right? We could beat Tennessee. I do think Tennessee is a tougher matchup for UK than Texas was, but theoretically, ranked teams, SEC at home. Auburn could have their coach fired. Florida has its coach fired. There was an avenue for postseason. If you find a way to get 1 yard on 4 plays, or 1 yard on, or 3 yards on one play, whatever. If you just get the ball in the end zone in overtime, postseason is legitimately back on the table. And I think that's part of the reason why Stoops was as defeated and just totally dejected. And he was on the call-in show. Did you listen or hear any or see the recap of that at all?
I did hear some of it. Again, it's such a weird situation. It's not like there's been a lot of comparison to what him and Calipari, as Calipari's days got numbered, and then you had that run in 23-24 where they really needed a strong postseason and went 0-2. But the difference has been Mark Stoops, I think, is a little bit concerned about his relationship with Kentucky fans. This is the only place where he's been the head coach. This is his program. He is the winningest coach in Kentucky football history. His legacy is tied to the University of Kentucky. So to have it where the fans at this point, I'm not going to say hate him, but want him to leave. There were people with Fire Stoops shirts on Saturday night. I think that that's what makes this situation just a little different. And that's why I was in that press conference yesterday and feeling sort of sad that this is coming to an end. So, yeah, just a different type of Mark Stoops. What did you take from it?
I think a conversation has been had. We can come at. Just so you know, I don't want it to come off as a surprise to you. I'm not talking behind your back, but I do think in some capacity Mark Stoops has been made aware that his time at Kentucky is winding down. However, I do think Mitch, just following him and for as long as we have as Kentucky fans, right? He really is one to know that things can change, similar to just Saturday. Nobody really thought Kentucky was going to win that game. and then you left the game wondering how in the world did Kentucky not win that game. It's inexcusable they didn't win that game. So things can change on a dime, and Mitch knows that. And it is interesting that you're going to play, like, you're going to be theoretically more checked in than Florida is, which is weird. Mm-hmm. Auburn could have, by that point, they could have their coach fired. Did you see that quote yesterday, by the way?
Was it you talking about when he was asking for a vote of confidence?
Yeah, he was asking for the athletic director to give.
Have you ever heard of a coach do that?
No, it's really embarrassing, and it reminded me of Jeb Bush asking for.
Yeah, please clap.
Here it is. Actually, go ahead and play it, producer Matt.
Did you send it to me?
Oh.
Sorry, I was putting the thing together.
He's got a lot of stuff going on, TJ.
Man, I thought that was just going to be smooth.
Sorry, I was
going to be ready to go.
Sorry, we can stall until we get it.
I thought it was just thought we were ready to rock and roll.
Is this Jeb Bush that he's going to play?
I will be a commander-in-chief that will have the back of the military. I won't trash talk. I won't be a divider-in-chief or an agitator-in-chief. I won't be out there blowharding, talking a big game without backing it up. I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Hell yeah, Jeb! Yeah!
How'd he do? Did he almost win?
No. Didn't really work out for little Jeb.
Do you remember the McCain one, the slip up about Pennsylvania?
What'd he say?
It was something like they said something. It was like the Obama campaign has some negative things to say about the people of Pennsylvania, and I couldn't agree with them more.
No,
like, because they got to do that stupid cadence when they talk. These politicians, they can't just be normal people. They have to do, I'm gonna do this and do this, and like they can't just talk. So then he just got caught up in that sort of the way of speaking, and I couldn't agree with them more. Everyone just kind of looks around like, what the hell is he talking about? And then he kind of stumbled his way through the next few sentences. It was a good time.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze said with John Cohen, it'd be huge if he could get a public vote of support. It'd be huge. That's sad. It really is Jeb Bush energy, just asking for people to clap for your rah-rah speech. Yeah, I know everybody wants me fired, but if the athletic director didn't, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. So point being, Kentucky's going to have some chances to get some wins this season, and wins that maybe you weren't necessarily expecting. But on the flip side, they also still are going to have to find ways to close out games, which is something that Mark Stoops has not been able to do against halfway decent teams for several seasons now. So I'm still not totally convinced, just because Auburn's in a messy spot, Florida's looking for a new coach, that it automatically means that the Cats are going to get them. Quite the contrary, as a matter of fact. I think Kentucky will get one SEC win. I think it'll be that Florida game, but I don't think they're going to go on the road and beat Auburn, and I think Tennessee will get the best of them this week, because unfortunately that's what, even in the best of times, that's what Tennessee does to Kentucky.
Yeah.
But no, it does seem like the end. It seems like something's been relayed to Mark Stoops, whether it be through UK or somebody through his agency. His tone has certainly changed. And it could just be, well, he's just mad from the loss. He's just sad from the devastating loss. Well, he better be, and he should be, but it's more than that. Normally he will spin that into a fiery rah-rah and let's get back to work, all the cliches. Mm-hmm. And he's saying the cliches, but it's just in a sad tone. It's like the poor guy needs a hug. But he's not poor. He's very rich, and he'll be okay. Well, and that's the thing, is if he seemed like he cared more, I may feel sad for him too, similar to you. But this dude just seems like he's better than Lexington. UK's lucky to have him. I do agree, when you think of Mark Stoops as a football coach, you're going to think of Kentucky. He is Kentucky. Kentucky's Mark Stoops. I get that. And it does stink that it's going to end poorly, when at certainly different times it seemed like it was at the height of Kentucky football. But the guy just seemed to not give a hoot about the University of Kentucky or its fans, and pony up comments and picking fights with the basketball team and dividing the fan base in that regard, retweeting people who were, yeah, get them, Mark Stoops.
That was an embarrassing time for Kentucky fans.
I wish it would have ended differently too, but I also wish that you cared about this place more. And I wish that you didn't take your foot off the gas when you were at your peak. And I wish that if it's not your fault, that's fine. But since nil's been a big thing, the Kentucky football program just hasn't been a big thing. And I wish that would have gone differently as well. So, yeah, I do wish it went differently, but I wish you did things differently as well, Mark Stoops. But he seems to know.
You brought up not being able to close out these close games. So I'm going back to 2022. And I keep track of all the SEC teams. I call them one-play games. Basically, late in the game, there's like one play that flips the game. And so you go back to 2022. They lost to Ole Miss. They had that fumble inside the 10-yard line. They beat Missouri on the roughing the punter call. They then lost to Vanderbilt. They had the penalty on 4th down. I think it was illegal hands to the face. Vanderbilt keeps their drive alive. Tie or win the game. 2023, they had Clemson at a 3rd and 20, lost the game. 2024 had Georgia. They had the 4th and 7, decided to punt. And then 2024, they beat Ole Miss as Ole Miss missed a field goal. 2025, lost Ole Miss with the ball in the red zone. 2025, lost to Texas in overtime. So 7, and one of those was really both of the wins came from the other team making massive mistakes, running into the kick. But yeah, you had a roughing the kicker, and then you had a missed field goal. So 2 and 7 in the last 9. It comes down to one play. Can you make it happen? Kentucky, in the last 9, has only been able to make that happen twice. And prior to that, in 2021, they won 3 of 4 of those games. That is what is, like, you just saw the fan base get so into that game Saturday. The Kentucky football fan base is so resilient. That was impressive to me, that everybody was up, excited, standing for the whole game. When you thought the fan base was done, we talked about it before the show. I had said, how much will that stadium be Texas? And there were a lot of visiting fans, but not even as many as 2018 when they played Georgia for the SEC East Championship. The Kentucky football fan base is so resilient, and I hate it that they have to always leave that stadium with a loss, at least for the last few years.
Yep, and the support has never been better. Didn't they sell out before the 2024 season?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they did.
So it's not even like that long. Last season was a sellout. That's how excited fans were going into it. And since then, and even a little bit before then, it has been a complete and total disaster. We want to hear from you on the Game Day Men's Health text line on this fine and beautiful fall Tuesday, 502-414-1450. A texter says, is Stoops still the winningest coach with the vacated season? I believe that he is.
I still think so, yeah. I would like to look that. Maybe I'll look that up during the break and see. But that's a good question. The 2021 season, we talked about it a lot. The vacated stuff, I mean, who cares? We watched those games. Now, the 2013 national championship game, I don't remember. I didn't watch it.
That
never happened.
Yeah,
but the 2021 football season for Kentucky, I believe that happened. I was at the Florida game.
Like when you're volunteering for a hospital and there's a clerical error where you accidentally get some money, that's just unfortunate, really. Yeah. You were being a great guy, helping at the hospital, and then some money in your bank account.
Like,
I'm sorry,
what is this?
U of L brought prostitutes in to have sex with young recruits.
We are not the same.
All right? So one vacation doesn't equal another vacation there, does it, producer Matt? One vacation is to Hawaii, and the other one is to Gary, Indiana.
Well, they're both cheating, so.
No, one was just an accident.
The university
was
cheating.
No, one was an accident. One was just a big old misunderstanding. And we said, you know what, Mitch Barnhart, with our top button, let's do the right thing. We didn't mean for this to happen. These people were just punching the clock and then going home accidentally.
Do you think that he made them button their top button them up in the hospital?
Well, they were never actually working at the hospital, so trick question.
So they weren't cheating.
Well, they had to go.
So they
needed to go volunteer elsewhere.
Guys. We've broken it down.
They needed to go volunteer elsewhere.
Honestly, that whole situation, that may have played a bigger role than what we think, because I do believe that if Chris Rodriguez wasn't suspended and could have gotten some run in before that Ole Miss game, I think Kentucky beats Ole Miss, and that season goes way different.
Potentially. Yeah, potentially.
Maybe Will Levis doesn't get hurt.
The thing that's a little everything always gets brought back to Calipari because there are similarities between Cal and Stoops. There's a lot. It's actually somewhat ironic. I said the word Shakespearean yesterday. Dare I do it 2 days in a row? But it's a bit Shakespearean because here's a guy that was at the top of the world within his program, within the university, and then just this slow chipping away where you're long enough to be the villain, right? The Batman quote.
Yep.
Stoops is very similar, and then you throw in the contracts with both of them. The similarities are, you can't look away from them. I do think that Calipari probably maybe cared a little bit more about the university, but that's subjective in its own right. But I'm forgetting the point that of even bringing up the difference between the two. However, where were we?
Well, if you want to talk about the differences, I do think there is a slight difference. I think towards the end, Calipari wanted to win just to be like, ha, Kentucky fans, you doubted me, and I still did it. I think Stoops wants to win so that Kentucky fans will like him again. And I don't think Cal cared about that.
I got back to the point that I was trying to make. And yeah, I don't totally. I think Stoops just wants to win, but I think he's just not willing to put necessarily in the work to win the same way.
Do you think? Did you really think that? You don't think he's working hard?
I just think he knows $38 million. I think he thinks he's probably working hard. I think he thinks he's working hard, but I think at the end of the day, if he really evaluated what I was doing 10 years ago versus what I'm doing now, it's just I was getting into coaches' asses, and now I don't have that same fire anymore. I'm talking just like a fan at a bar would talk. This is not inside info or anything like that. That's just how it appears to me. But one difference I will say from Calipari to Stoops and how similar the end of these eras, really just their entire tenures at UK. A difference is Cal. It really was almost game to game, March Madness to March Madness. If Reed and Rob don't get Jack Golkied and that team goes to the Elite Eight or Final Four, Cal's still here. He needed one good March. The difference with Mark Stoops, and this is the point I briefly had forgotten, was I don't think there's anything he can do, really. I just don't. Now, you can say, well, if he would have gotten 1 yard, that would have been a good start yesterday. And even you said that could have been the momentum to get the ball rolling for the postseason. If he went to the postseason, he would have been the coach. All those things are true. It is true. If you beat Texas and then you get the ball rolling a little bit and then you find a way to get 6 wins and you go to the whatever.com bowl, he's back for another year, assuming he wants to be. But next year's not better. Next year's not more anticipated. There's not more money in the program next year.
Does Cutter Boley change some of that?
Potentially. Maybe if Cutter's really good in that stretch, then that's Mark Stoops' angle, potentially. Mm-hmm. And even then, I still don't think there's a lot of excitement. I think there's people that are excited about Cutter. Yeah. I don't think there's a lot more money in the program with Nil. Potentially, if Cutter's really, really good, you'd say, all right, let's get this guy some toys. But that's taking some liberties, I think, in my opinion. I just don't think realistically there's anything that Mark Stoops could do. If he beat Texas, I'm just happy to have a win. I'm happy to have a week talking on our radio show about a win. That's a change of pace. But for me, it doesn't change my big picture of Mark Stoops.
Yeah.
This is a dead end. It really is. And maybe I'm alone on that. And if I am, let me know on the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Now, you can make the case, well, TJ, what if he wins out? And then I bet you'd be excited. Well, yeah, if he wins that, but I'm talking realistic.
Sure.
He just probably ain't going to win out. So, and I think even if he got to a postseason, if he beats Tennessee and beats Louisville, we'll get excited about those wins. I just think when the offseason rolls around and you realize that Mark Stoops is still your coach, just the magic's gone. Going back to the relationship comparable that we had earlier. You're not even fighting anymore. I don't even hate the guy. I just want him gone.
The toughest game on their schedule, if they were going to win out, is Vanderbilt. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
They got 6 games left. I still think Tennessee's probably the worst matchup on their schedule. They'll probably play Vanderbilt close. I don't think they'll get blown out just because there won't be enough possessions for both teams the way they play. And TJ, what if he did though? Like, what if he beating Tennessee is going to be one of the toughest games to win all season just because of Tennessee plays, and I don't think that Kentucky can score enough points to even be in the game in the fourth quarter. But let's just say everything goes completely right, and then your remaining schedule is Auburn, Florida, Tennessee Tech, Vandy, Louisville. No, still no?
No.
It becomes sort of possible.
Well, I don't think they're going to win on the road at Auburn. I mean, the other two road games this year were 35-13 and 35-14.
It wasn't very good.
Teams aren't necessarily Auburn, but
is it possible Auburn starts checking out as their coaches?
Ifs and buts, candy nuts, wins, sure. Like it is possible. I'm not thinking that.
There's no reason for me to try to talk myself into being optimistic on how we close this thing out.
Not realistically. If you're just generally an optimistic person, don't let me pour gasoline on your sunshine and rainbows. But no, and like again, you have to find a way to close out these games. You can be in them. That's one thing. It was fun to be in it. Saturday was more fun than the Georgia and South Carolina game, right? We can all agree to that.
Even Ole Miss.
Still have to find a way to close it out and not have your heart ripped out, which is exactly what happened. So will they be in the game against Tennessee? Vegas suggests it will be. Will they be able to close that one out? Well, what made you think if they couldn't do it against a lifeless offensive Texas team that they could do it against Tennessee? I don't know. I hope to be wrong. Like, I just want a week talking about a win. It'd be exciting. And sports are weird. There's twists and turns. Who knows? There's going to be another surprise to this UK football season.
Do they get an SEC win? Do you see it?
I think they get Florida. I think they beat Florida. That's my guess. But let's take our first commercial break. We'll come back. We had a big Monday night in sports.
Yes.
2 Monday night football games that ended up being a bit of duds, but the baseball game was.
I watched the baseball.
Was anything but. We'll talk about that. We'll get to your text on the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. And we have a Jalen Lowe update. So this is KRC on the Big X. Left its seeds while
Arozarena watches it go!
Touch them all, George.
Welcome back, Kentucky Roll Call. The best calls are sometimes the no calls.
Yep.
Where you just let the crowd roar and you sit back and you don't say a word. That was an incredible Game 7 in the ALCS. I watched a hell of a lot more of it than I would have ever anticipated or would have expected. And the 3-run home run in the 7th inning, correct?
Yes, bottom of 7th.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Put the Blue Jays ahead, and some drama, certainly some drama in the 8th and the 9th inning, as there always is in October baseball. But our World Series 2025 is set. The Los Angeles Dodgers back, and for the first time in like 30 years, the Toronto Blue Jays back.
1993, Joe Carter,
Yeah,
right?
that's a long. Is that what they the game that they're talking about in Big Daddy?
Yes,
it
is.
Are they talking about the World Series with the Blue Jays?
They're talking about the Joe Carter home run.
This is the first time since the Big Daddy kid hooked up with the Hooters waitress?
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So everybody go to your local wing joint for this World Series.
Man, I watched I have not watched 9 innings of baseball between two teams that didn't feature the Chicago Cubs this whole season until last night. I wanted to see history. We talked about it yesterday. I was pulling for the Mariners. You weren't, because you love it when fan bases get to suffer for long periods of time.
Yeah, great.
But to be fair, Toronto Blue Jays fan. If I was born in 1990, if I was a Toronto Blue Jays fan, I would basically say I've never seen my team play in the World Series. You don't remember very many games when you were 3 years old. So I'm happy for the Toronto fans, but it sucks, man. In Canada, I got to pull for Canada to win the World Series now. I'm not pulling for LA. So
my old co-host used to always root for Canada. It really ground my gears. So this is kind of interesting because I am very anti-Canadian hockey teams. I love it. I love their piece of history of not winning the Stanley Cup going back to like the early 90s, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe even the 80s. They have a Canadian team hasn't won the Stanley Cup in forever. And that just cracks me up. That's their sport. They love it. They talk about it like we talk about college basketball. They can't get enough of it.
You're not going to believe this.
What's that?
The last
year? 93?
93.
Oh,
the last time a Canadian team won. So that's the last time a Canadian team won the World Series too.
Well, hold on. That means that you might want to put your money on the Edmonton Oilers if the Toronto Blue Jays pull this out.
What is that one? That one fan still going to the games, producer man?
Probably, and he's probably going to be a really happy fan this year if the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Dodgers.
Oh, there's a girl. I'm talking about the female, the woman fan of the Edmonton Oilers. Not ringing
any bells.
Not ringing any bells. Okay.
Not really in tune with the Edmonton Oilers lore.
Oh well, okay. You may be more familiar than you think. The Blue Jays are the home team, right? Yeah, that's right. So they'll get home field advantage in the World Series, and Kentucky Roll Call breaking a little piece of well, I'm sure it's probably already been out there, but yeah, I would
this
go.
Lady,
I would go.
I do know who you're talking about.
No, Peek looked up at the board as if she was on the YouTube.
No,
I thought you might have
put her on the YouTube.
Go ahead and put her on the YouTube. Why not?
I think I'm good.
Go ahead and put her on the old YouTube page, producer Matt. This is a visual medium, if nothing else. So yeah, go ahead and put your futures on the NHL teams because they're. But I just love that they haven't gotten it. Although I think it'd almost be sort of funny or ironic if the Canadian baseball team, the one Canadian baseball team that they have, if they won the World Series before any of the Canadian hockey teams won the Stanley Cup.
Since 93, yeah.
Because they don't care about baseball in Canada. You can only play it like 2 months out of the year there anyways. Well, and then those 2 months, it's like, oh, okay, let's go play the baseball.
Tell you what, their fans looked like they cared last night. And, man, that place really when it rocks, it really rocks. You remember that 2015 home run?
Fair weather bandwagon fans.
Well, that's a lot of baseball fans, to be fair.
No, the entire country.
Did you watch... Okay. Well, did you watch? I guess you saw the 9th inning. Julio Rodriguez at the plate. Nobody, and he didn't swing at a. You don't want to go down looking, but I was so wanting big dumper on deck, Cal Raleigh, to come up with a chance to give them the lead. So I was like, Julio, just don't swing. It was a 2-0 count, I think, and I'm like, just don't swing. Just don't Then he swung at ball 3. Then he swung at ball 4. And then I was like, got to a full count, went down swinging. I do hate it for Mariners fans. As a Cub fan, being on those losing streaks and being so close a few times and just not being able to do it. Well, you know what that's like, TJ, being so close to winning a big game and then not doing it, having the ball 3 yards away from beating Texas.
That's a good point. So, TJ, were you happy to see Kentucky lose because you just saw the Spirits get crushed live TV?
You must have loved that.
Not at all, because I'm a UK fan, and I don't like it when it happens to my teams. This isn't hard to figure out, guys, right? Like, if I was a Mariners fan, I'd want the Mariners to win.
Oh, okay.
A lot of common variables.
Kentucky's been on the wrong end of some bad streaks on the football side, and I can be the first to tell you I wanted them to end. All right? The only streak that you can live with is the one in your underpants, right, Pete?
Okay.
Zing!
Thank you, producer Matt. Let's go back to the text line, 502-414-1450. The baseball game was great. Did you all watch the Monday night football games? I've got a little thing. Again, nobody cares about people's fantasy football teams. I get it. But everybody always, every so often, you do have just an incredible story. One happened for me. I am 11th out of 14th in points in this league.
Nice.
And I moved to 5-2, baby. I got a lucky schedule draw. I ain't played anybody, Paul. I got so lucky last night. Went into the evening up 4, and I had Nico Collins playing, coming off an injury in the absolutely disgusting Houston Texans offense. And my opponent, my buddy Sean, he had Mike Evans, RIP. He had Jameson Williams, and he had the kicker for the Bucks. So Mike Evans got hurt in the second quarter, and he had a goose egg when he got hurt. He got, concussed and broke his collarbone all on the same play. It looked like a really nasty, gnarly injury. I hate that for Mike Evans.
And then your team's out there playing the defensive game, 11 out of 15.
Yeah, it is. And then Jameson Williams, I don't know if he even recorded a catch. He may have had one, potentially. But I don't know if he even had. He got a holding penalty against him. I don't think he even had a catch. The Bucks kicker did bang in a nice 50-yarder right before the half. Nico had a horrible game, but it was at least enough for me to win. But I thought I was toast. I didn't think there was any chance I was going to be able to win 1 versus 3 with only a 4-point advantage. But the fantasy gods were in my favor. I hate that it came at Mike Evans' injury expense, but he'll be all right. He'll bounce back. He's a tough kid.
I feel really bad because this past week I actually traded Mike Evans to somebody for Trey McBride.
Oh, wow. And McBride had a huge game.
Because he was kind of lower in the table. He didn't need Trey McBride. He had no receivers at all left. I was like, Mike Evans coming back. You can have him. I'll even throw somebody else in. You want it? I just need a tight end. He was like, sure, why not? Go win the league, big fella. And I was like, oh, dang. That's tough.
Yeah, that is tough. But I got the win, so I was happy about that. And now your Green Bay Packers, everybody, the number 1 seed in the NFC. And as everybody knows, that's where you want to be after Week 7. That's really the most important spot to be the number 1 seed.
Stop the count.
So that's nice. But, yeah, Green Bay does move to number 1 with that tie. That tie doing them a lot of favors against the Cowboys. I still cannot believe Green Bay lost to Joe Flacco with a 10-point lead with 4 minutes left to go in the game. But we're in Week 8. Week 8 of the NFL season, and this would have been a fun one to have the old roll call crew. I love the new roll call crew. Nothing better than the new roll call crew. But Packers versus Steelers.
Ooh.
Rodgers versus
Let's bring
Green Bay. He's not a real Steelers fan.
No.
We'd have to get old Scoot with this terrible towel.
If you were a Seattle sports fan last night, how are you feeling this morning? Your Seahawks got a big win, moved to 5-2, but your baseball team lost in Game 7 of the LCS.
Did you see the broadcast when they were announced the final score? I don't know if they announced the final score, but they were just showing fans they were showing all right, the baseball game has gone final, and then they just started panning to the crowd and showing fans, and some fans were booing and people were wearing their Mariners gear. And the wife was like, man, that would stink for them. I was like, more than you know, as a matter of fact. Unless you were not really from Seattle and you were just a Seahawks fan that was flying in from out of state or something like that.
Right.
But there was nothing the Seahawks could do to cheer those fans up. And the 12th man, and they had a great atmosphere and they won the game and all that fun stuff. But those fans left that stadium disappointed. There's just no way otherwise. for all the history that you mentioned with the Mariners, they wanted that one far more. And to the point where I bet there was probably some Seahawks fans. I bet those tickets were probably the cheapest Monday night football tickets you're going to get for Seattle, because some fans were probably just like, I just want to watch the baseball game. I don't want to be stuck at the stadium with bad cell phone service, not knowing who's winning or what's that. I'll check out the football game on TV, but I want to be at a bar watching the baseball game.
Yeah, so there's an interesting text in the let's see. It says, yesterday you guys talked about great baseball achievements. Another one. I don't know that he had the guy's name right, Lou Burdett, but I did look it up, and Rick Wise, apparently for Philadelphia, had a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
I don't know. Does that beat Shohei Ohtani?
When was it? What game was it?
I don't even know if it was the postseason.
If it's not a playoff game, it doesn't beat it.
Okay.
If it's a playoff game, that is legit debate. I would give it to the no-hitter, 2 home runs.
They're arguing about it right now on a message thread on Reddit about that people are saying that was a better performance. I mean,
was it a playoff game?
He pitches 9 innings, no-hitter, 1 walk away from a perfect game, and hits 2 home runs against the Reds. It was not a playoff game.
Of course, it happened against the Cincinnati Reds.
That
and you give it to Ohtani.
Yeah, just because it was not only was it a playoff game. I mean, they were up 3-0, so if they lose, they're probably not losing the series. But
no, it wasn't like a win-or-go-home situation, but it still was the NLCS.
To clinch the NLCS.
To go to the World Series. So you got to give the...
And it was 1 more home run. So...
I was thinking about it. I don't know when they ended up pulling their pitcher, one of the teams, but they went to the bullpen, or they started having a guy warm up in the 3rd or 4th inning, and the score was, I think, 1-1 or 2-1. And I was thinking to myself, and I'm not a baseball Benny. It's not the sport that I know the most, but I'm thinking to myself, like, man, seems like a risky decision. Like, this guy's doing all right. It's not a perfect game or no hitter, but he's doing okay. And then I was thinking that, like, well, TJ, this is a win or go home. The World Series is on the line. You go get a fresh arm if you...
Of a performance that I didn't know about as a big baseball fan. So I appreciate the texter for allowing me to at least search through it. Lou Burdett did throw a no-hitter in 1960. I don't know if he got those two mixed up. But yeah.
Scooter Dingus says, Speak, I can't do the Shohei Ohtani thing anymore, man. What are you going to do about it, Scoots? Nothing. I'm not going to do nothing. I know he's in his car saying that. Why don't you fight Peak? That'd be a good way to welcome him into the Big X Sports Radio family. A good old-fashioned fist fight.
Isn't that the initiation?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Scooch was telling us some wild stories off the air.
You said we have some Jalen Lowe updates?
We do.
Tease that at the break?
We do. We've got a Jalen Lowe update. I don't really know exactly what to make of it totally from... I'm curious your opinion. Mark Stoops yesterday at the Kentucky tip-off luncheon, he talked about Jalen Lowe's injury in the blue-white game. I'm going to have to be super courageous to throw him out here soon, but we'll see how it plays out. So he means it's going to take courage to play him?
Well, because he's worried he's not ready to go yet, so... If he throws him out there too early and he gets banged up again and he misses even more time, that's what he means.
I mean, I would say just give a time frame then. Just be like, hey, he's gonna maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month. I don't think going out and being courageous is the right word.
Producer Matt, you probably weren't keeping up with you're keeping up with sports, sure, but you probably weren't in the weeds of the end of the Calipari days.
Can't say I was. Where
he would give an injury update, and I would be doing radio with Roush, and he'd be like, I hate this guy. I just can't stand him anymore. And I'd be like, Roush, he just said that it's going to be anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. Yeah, that timetable is ridiculous. Hey, you give him more percent. Just answer the question. And then, Mark Pope has done the exact same thing that Cal would do. But the thing is, Mark Pope's in year 2 of giving just ambiguous injury updates, where it was 13 years. Well, the I haven't seen him was probably legitimate, just haven't seen him.
No, that's ridiculous. He said that after P.J. Washington got hurt in 2019. You're coaching a Sweet 16 game against Houston. You haven't seen your star forward yet.
I'm rehashing it, producer Matt, just so you can experience in real time. At which case, I would respond whether or not he says I haven't seen him or I'm gonna have to be super courageous to put him out there.
I get it.
Getting an answer one way or another. So who cares what he says?
Well, because the I haven't seen him is just that is preposterous. That if I heard that as a fan and I went, what do you mean you have that? It's like, you're the head coach. It's a very important. We're in March Madness, and you haven't seen P.J. Washington? Come on. Like, at least lie to me a different way. Like, make me think that I'm checking. If I was Cal, I would have been checking in with trainers, P.J., because you don't have to see him, T.J., to get an update on his injury. You don't even have to talk to P.J. Washington. You can talk to trainers, anyone else. So I've said this a lot since I started doing this full time, because in 2019 I just loosely covered them with WHAS 11 and did the post games, shot the games, but wasn't in the weeds with it. These press conferences sometimes I don't even know what they're for, because when there's actual questions that need to be asked, and that's what you hear fans like, why don't you all ask them the real questions? Because they're not going to answer the real questions. They're not going to be honest. They're the most dishonest people. They're politicians.
Well, the real question, please stand up. What is the real question?
Well, I mean, when you have an injury and fans are having anxiety because they see how good this team can be and go, oh no, the one guy who can't get hurt is laying on the floor in pain, and then their Friday night, their Saturday night, their Sunday is ruined until you get a little piece of info that the MRI came back negative and you could breathe again, but you still, people are looking forward to that game on Friday. He's obviously not going to play in that one. He's obviously not going to play against Georgetown.
What?
I mean, I haven't seen him, TJ. I'm just assuming that if you're going to, there's a fine line between courageous and stupid, and you don't play him on Friday. You probably don't play him on Thursday, and who knows if we'll see him before Louisville. But just asking what's the update, and no coach is ever going to be honest with that.
Let's hear it from Mark Pope's words himself. Here's how he said it when updating Jalen Lowe's injury.
Well, speaking of Lamont and point guards and shoulders, everybody here wants me to ask you how Jalen is.
Oh,
No, me.
Yeah.
That's you.
No, is that for Leanne, right?
Either.
You.
Jaden's doing
don't
great.
appreciate that at all.
He has improved so much in the last 48 hours. It's really, really positive. And so we'll kind of proceed with caution, but he is an ultimate competitor, and he's doing great. He's going to be in really good shape. We'll see if, I'm going to have to be super courageous to throw him on the court here soon, but we'll kind of see how that plays out. But he's doing really, really well. We've been really pleased with his progress the last 48 hours.
All right, so obviously the dish breaking right when he's saying
somebody break a glass.
Like the Annabelle curse is actually real.
Yeah.
Play that again. Play go to like near the end again. It's optimistic, positive Mark Pope, but when talking about Jalen Lowe, listen to the curse in real time.
We'll see if, I'm going to have to be super courageous to throw him on the court here soon, but we'll kind of see how that plays out. But he's doing really, really well.
I just hate that. I hate that. In all seriousness, I do all right. Jalen Lowe, exactly how I felt yesterday. He will be fine in time. I'm not all that worried about this really in the slightest. Yes, it stinks you're not going to get him to go against the AP preseason player of the year on Friday. That would have been fun to get to see.
That stinks. Everyone was looking forward to that matchup.
That stinks. I care more about UK being able to be a 1 seed in March Madness, though.
100%.
And I don't think this injury is going to impact that all that much, if at all. So we got lucky, in my opinion. Your point guard, a starter goes down in a scrimmage on live TV. I mean, it can't happen in just practice, obviously. This one was broadcasted. He goes down, and he may miss a week or two of the season, the beginning of it. Yeah, it also sucks that just so happens this is the random year where that biggest rivalry game happens to be early in the year. So it's not perfect, but big picture, I'm all right. I don't think that was a concern, Pope.
I just don't see how you start the statement with, he's made great strides in the last 48 hours and all this stuff about how he's getting better, and then you come out with, I have to be super courageous to put him on the court.
That's just Pope. And like some people will find that annoying, but that's just, I think he always wants to be positive and find an optimistic spin as much as he can. So he did in that instance, but then just kind of comes he was going to be a doctor, come in with the good news and then slowly deliver the stinky bad medicine.
He also likes to do something where he praises everyone else and then he self-deprecating. So it's almost like that I have to be courageous thing is like, you can blame me for why he doesn't play, that kind of thing. There's something that Pope does. I don't want to get too sidetracked with this point because it's not that big of a deal, but he'll say something where I don't know why he wanted to play. I don't know why he wanted to play for me. I mean, I'm an idiot. And he would say those things publicly. And I'm like, I don't think you don't have to go that hard into hating on yourself. So I don't know if that's what he was doing there. But yeah, it's just, I get that you can't say, oh yeah, he'll be ready to rock in 2 weeks. I mean, you can't do that this early, but I still agree with you there. And the other thing that this does is it allows us, I said this yesterday, it allows us to see what the other, I'm using air quotes, that's not how radio works, but point guards, as we don't really have another true point guard, but Denzel Aberdeen can handle the ball, Jasper Johnson can handle the ball, and Colin Chandler. With Mark Pope's offense, it's just about getting the ball across half court and getting into your set. It's really not about breaking your man down and doing the dribble drive motion offense that we saw under Cal. Point guard is still very important, as we saw last year, but Kentucky was able to win with Travis Perry running the point. They were able to beat top 15, top 10 teams, and Travis Perry, by the way.
How about Travis? We're going to talk college basketball. I want to talk lineups. I want to talk about the guard position without Jalen Lowe, what that means for the team, how they operate, what it looks like. Travis Perry and secret scrimmages and my preseason national championship pick, Houston. Travis Perry just went out there and just said, no thank you, Houston. No thank you, Cougars. Save the Cougars for me in Oxford because not tonight, buddy. They dominated Houston. We'll talk about that and some of the other secret scrimmages that are going on. We've got some NFL power rankings. We're going to do a fun little exercise experiment sort of deal and talk more college football. And your text into the Game Day Men's Health text line. This is Kentucky Roll Call. Stephen Peak, producer Matt. I'm TJ Walker. Welcome back. Hour number 2, Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. Producer Matt, Stephen Peak, I'm TJ Walker. Get your text into the Gameday Men's Health text line. That number is 502-414-1450. We're on the YouTube if you want to join us there. People are commenting on the YouTube. Super Mid Gaming on the YouTube stream says, your show is awful, LOL. So cool. We love our fans out there.
Well, it seems like they only like Super Mid Gaming.
Yeah, but this isn't Super Mid Gaming.
Or maybe because they like things that are mid, them calling it awful is a compliment.
Could be.
Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for.
I love the spin there, Producer Matt. I love the spin. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, again, that Game Day Men's Health text line. We are on YouTube. Hour number 2, getting going now. I want to talk some basketball when appropriate. I want to talk about Jalen Lowe's injury, what that's going to mean for UK Friday night against Purdue moving forward. We don't have to do that right now because I know there are some quick hitters, Peak, that you wanted to get to on today's show.
Do you want me to get to any of those now?
Yeah. Just let's bang them. Let's bang them.
Go ahead.
Let's bang it out.
Let's do it. Miami is the city of Miami. They have a self-driving drone launching cop car that they've just announced and released. So it's complete with a 360-degree camera. It's called PUG, which stands for Police Unmanned Ground Vehicle. It has the 360-degree cameras, drone launching capabilities, license plate readers, thermal imaging, and, of course, TJ, AI.
It's
got AI. What do you think about that? You ready to get pulled over by an unmanned police car soon?
No, I don't like this. While it's cool, like I don't know. I guess I like it, but not in my town.
Not in my backyard.
Not in my backyard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm turning into the Hurstbourne residence in real time. But that's just a little too big brother. And again, all this technology is available and it's already out there, so they just kind of all put it together. If it looks scary, then I'd be for it. Like if it's actually something that kind of looks like the Terminator and it's like going around and giving people tickets and stuff like that, I would be for it. But I do think that there are probably some benefits to it. There's probably some cost saving to taxpayers and stuff like that. I would think. I guess it just depends on how it's used, right? If you use it just to monitor and keep people safe, I could hear that out. Naturally, I feel like this could be used. What town in Kentucky recently put those red light detectors on? Maybe it was Indiana, but I remember there was some small town conversation about we don't need red light readers where if you run a red light, these things will get you. It's timed, it'll take your picture, and it'll mail you your ticket. I'm pretty sure that happened somewhere in Kentucky. I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I was trying to find it for you real fast, but it does. I couldn't find the exact place. The only places that have the only places in Kentucky that had red light cameras had Fort Campbell and Frankfort, but I think there were more put in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the things that detect the speed and they take the photo of your car. I mean, I guess that stops people from speeding, but they've done studies that just having people see how fast they're going causes everyone to slow down. You don't actually have to ticket them.
Yeah.
So we can keep doing that. I think if that's working, let's keep that up. I do. It will be real dystopian one day if you get pulled over, and then what happens is that they just take. I guess they don't even have to pull you over. I guess maybe they should if you're driving too fast. Isn't that the whole point, to stop you from doing that? Not just to let you surprise you later on.
It is fascinating to think, like, where will this be in 10 years, 30 years, 50 years?
I don't even want to think about that. There'll be a robot. Literally, there will be a robot putting handcuffs on people.
It's not a Weird Wednesday, but what would you prefer? Cameras on every corner that know your every move and know what you're doing, but society is safer.
Well, that's how it is in China.
That's what I was going to go to.
Yeah. So
we could go to North Korea. They don't quite have the technology, so instead they just use young female traffic instructors. We could go back in time and maybe go to the old traffic instructor rank. It's a pretty supposedly significant job in North Korean culture to be one of those little traffic people.
Oh, man. Have you ever thought, like, I should go visit North Korea just to see what it's like?
Yeah, I think it'd be incredible. I mean, I
would
would
do a remote from there.
Except for that poor Virginian guy who stole that sign, or they said stole that sign.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why you don't go over there.
They turned him into a vegetable and then sent him home.
Or if you do, you just don't touch anything. Listen, have somebody with you the whole time that can make sure you don't do anything stupid.
That poor kid, like whatever sort of torture they put him through, that made him kind of brain dead. North Korea was like, we didn't do that.
So China,
it wasn't us,
has a homicide murder rate 0.44 to 0.46. The United States 5.7 to 6.38. So it is very different, and they don't lock up as many people, 121 people per 100,000, whereas in the United States, 639 people per 100,000. Maybe because people in the United States think they can get away with it because they're not being surveilled. Is that?
Producer Matt, what's the right way to go about it?
I think we need more AI. Let's just get rid of everybody. Our 3 jobs will be taken here in the next 4 years. We'll have AI radio hosts, AI producers. We got AI cops now. I mean, there's not gonna be there's gonna be AI citizens out there. We're not gonna be allowed to leave our home. It's gonna be full iRobot.
They did ask some of these guys who are behind all of this AI and the advancement in that technology of, it was actually a pretty easy question to answer, and he didn't answer it very well. It was like, do you think human beings should exist in the future? And he's like, yes, but I love where we're headed now. That sounds good.
Do you guys remember? It was 10 years ago. Somebody tweeted out, and it was like, in 2020, whatever, we'll be able to have sex with robots. And then, somebody every year quotes it and is like, 9 years to go. And then, and then somebody quoted it, and it was 2026, and he was like, holy crap, we're actually getting pretty close.
I think we're actually very close to robot wives.
No, I think we're there, right? I think we're 5 years into it.
I was looking.
I think people have been boning robots for a good while.
Beta testing is passed.
Oh, we can say that on here.
Yeah, you can say boning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, give it a whirl.
I'm trying to figure it out, what the line is here.
Just don't force it,
Right,
It's got to be, you got to say it cool like me.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah, don't overdo it. No, you can definitely have sex with robots, trust me.
I've been there, done that.
So, I looked it up. 2025, they're for sale for $175,000. So if you have $175,000 lying around, you can have an AI girlfriend. But do you take the wife or girlfriend around with you, and how do you make it sound like it's a person? Because it's just the voice will be coming from a speaker. So even if you can set it up with AI where it chats back with you like ChatGPT does, you get what I'm saying? They don't have vocal cords.
Producer Matt and Peak, you all talk. I'm gonna have AI create a song just for us, real quick, just to show the power of AI.
Nice. All right. Well, While you do the AI thing, there was something else I wanted to talk about real fast. I was approved for credentials to Auburn. Matt, I was told I can never go back and cover another game in the Plains because of my behavior at the basketball game in 2024, which was, I don't know, they just made stuff up.
When you actually send this to us, the first thing I thought of was this is like Christ letting Judas back at the table again.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
We're just turning heel. We don't care anymore. You've already crucified me. Why not bring him back?
What they claimed I did was they said I was cussing out the students and the referees,
and it was just the referees, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. It was.
I'm kidding. He wasn't cussing out anybody.
I was slapping high fives with Kentucky fans, and they really didn't like that. At the end of the game, though, and that's the old school media. I do appreciate those guys, like the guy Mark Story and all the guys who've been doing this for years, and they're very professional, and that's not really KSR style. So when I'm at these games, if we're a fan site, I do act like a fan, not so much on the court or on the field necessarily, because I do realize there are rules that you have to follow. But I was actually shocked that Auburn approved my credential because they made it. They sent a whole thing. They sent it to my boss. They sent it to Kentucky's media people. They were like, we are never allowing Stephen Peak to be approved for a credential again, and he can no longer cover anything Auburn athletics.
It was actually pretty cool because when we showed the video or like listened to it on the radio show a while back, like you did a pretty good job because when you were talking, you were being so nice, but in the video when you were beating up all those fans and you were pushing the refs around, we obviously couldn't show that, so people don't even know. So you did a really good job with that.
Yeah, well, it's good editing, Matt, and a good editor figure out ways. Maybe I use some AI.
Do you think that they just forgot about you, or bygones are bygones?
I think I did have some people. I reached out to some people at Auburn. To be honest, I'm not like super stoked that I get to go watch Kentucky football play another road game, but I did for basketball. I wanted to be there because hey, it's the first time playing against Stephen Pearl. You want to be there for that, right, TJ? So I don't know if they just forgot, and maybe it's a basketball thing, maybe because it's different SIDs.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't know if they run your name through a we don't allow this person anymore screening, and if your name doesn't pop up, they just
hope you get checked at the door. Like you're walking in.
That's what I'm actually worried about. I'm worried about that they're going to make me go all the way there and then be like, sorry, we said you can't come in, and then I'm just going to be walking around the stadium for the whole entire game, I guess.
But that would be pretty good content in its own right, but that would just kind of suck to waste a weekend to go down there just to be told no.
I got a feeling I'm wasting a weekend going down there anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the football team being bad.
And, if this game was just one more day later, I probably would have stayed because the basketball team would have been playing on, like, Friday because it would have been November. Season would have started. Oh, well. Maybe they'll win, TJ, and it'll be part of their 6-game winning streak to close out the season.
You never know. You never know. They nearly
might do the second half undefeated. Who knows?
Should have beaten Texas. All right, here's the AI song. I have no idea if this is good. I don't know if they even cuss in it. I have no idea. This is all AI, so I can't obviously get in trouble for it. Take it away, AI computer.
Taking our jobs, my friend. It's all on sports talk radio. They're not just in my ears, they're in my dreams. Peak, run for your life. It's not just sports talk radio.
This should be the new intro.
Jobs.
I'm just going to put this built into the system so this plays every break.
The takeover boogie. The takeover boogie. The takeover boogie. The takeover boogie. The takeover boogie.
Really catchy though.
There's one more verse.
Yeah, the next verse is great.
Did you write any of this, TJ?
I gave it a prompt.
Take over boogie. If the robots take over, they can't replicate.
No, they can't.
TJ Walker, handsome, smart, funny.
Oh, you didn't write any of this?
There's a short prompt.
There was a very specific prompt.
No.
Name it, he's got it. AI could never be TJ Walker. Producer Matt is also great. We never want to replace him with AI. But AIs can never have as much fun. Me and the only UFL fan. The AI takeover boogie.
I don't understand that part. Yeah, AI got a little sloppy there at the end, but there's the AI takeover boogie from AI, our friend, the artificial intelligence.
Can you read that prompt?
The prompt, I don't know if it
won't save it.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have known what the
dang.
prompt was. I'm crying. That is.
Let's see. It should let me have it.
He's acting like they don't save everything you've ever typed in whatever AI you're trying to use.
No, they should, right? Okay, a country song about AI taking over our sports radio jobs. Peak is terrified of robots. Producer Matt is a dorky U of L fan. TJ Walker is strong and handsome. That's what I put out there.
What site? What site do you use for that?
That is an app called. They should pay me for this. You know what? If you Venmo me $1, I'll tell you what it is.
$1.
Yeah, $1. It's called Suno. SUNO, and it's free. But I'll make one more song by the end of the show. How about that? We can end the show with one more AI song.
I would love that.
We can maybe do like a hip hop version or something a little bit more upbeat potentially. But I like the country.
Do you ever talk with AI?
No, but Ross was telling me that you do that.
Yeah, no, I will literally come up with segments like either for this show. I will have it act like it's you, and we'll debate. I've had it act like it was Nick Roush.
You'll have it act like it's me?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, I tell it, like, look up TJ Walker, build a personality around this.
So is this with your extracurriculars robot, or is this just your free time?
I tell my extracurriculars robot to be TJ.
The pillow talk with the robot? I guess the hard drive talk? I was already giving it the hard drive.
There you go. That was good. On the fly, too. Yeah, no, so I use it like that. I use it to brainstorm ideas a lot and to push back on some of my original thoughts. So I've kind of trained my Chat GPT to kind of spar with me and not because it will just tell you what it thinks you want to hear, and will agree with you. And I found myself going, yeah, I'm right, and I'm even more right. And then I started thinking, there's no way that I'm right about all of this because I'm usually wrong in most cases. So I had it like actually push back and fight with me a little bit. So that's been fun. I take pictures of stuff in my house. I'm like, this is broken. How do I fix it? And it gives me a step-by-step like instructions on how to do it.
Yeah, it's great from that standpoint. AI, it really can be such an incredibly helpful tool in a ton of areas. No, but I've never talked with it. I have heard people talk with it, and that is super weird because it is now so smooth. It almost does seem like you're just talking with a real person. There's a famous TikToker, and her whole shtick on TikTok is she'll just try to make AI do like things that it will not do. Be like, hey, AI, count to 1,000 for me. And AI will be like, that's a fun task, but I'm not going to do that today. Well, what else can I help you with? And she'll be like, no, I'd like you to count to 1,000 for me. And he'll be like, well, that would be fun if I would do it, which I will not. So please ask me another task to what she'll just like troll him and whatnot. Where does it go from here, though, you know? You mentioned, I think, that like all the essays are AI.
There's over half of web articles are AI now.
There's AI music. There's AI art. Back when I used to do the old Batcat AI, that was when like AI art was really bad and goofy. So when I do the Batcat AI art, it was like cute and funny. Now it's so good. And then the AI videos.
Yeah.
There's also TikTokers who will do like AI videos with their elderly. I mean, it's elderly abuse, just some casual, slight elderly abuse. You know, no big deal.
No, yeah.
And they'll like show their grandparents these very clear AI videos of like a elephant jumping on a trampoline and doing a backflip or something like this. And the grandmother will be like, oh, that's incredible. They can get those elephants to do anything.
Can I be honest, though?
Like,
it's not grandparents, not just grandparents.
I know.
It catches me all the time.
Yeah, that's the bridge. It's like now I'm seeing videos where it's like, oh, no. Like, it's so real that it's a tough time. You have the president tweeting out AI videos, which like are clearly fake, but then again, they're kind of very real.
The issue is, like, yeah, he's been tweeting out very obvious fake stuff, and that's whatever. But there is the possibility, like, there is real possibility to tweet out or, you know, show stuff that didn't happen and use that to create policy. That's you don't think this is going to be used for that?
It already is.
Well, yeah. I mean, but I mean, I feel like I'm totally getting scammed when I'm older. I'm getting scammed now. I look for that little Sora watermark on videos now.
Well, technically, you co-hosting this job is a scam. I didn't have the heart to tell you that, but you're being scammed in the moment.
Well, I did look up. I had ChatGPT describe TJ Walker. It gave me an essay, by the way, but it said how Chat would describe you is energetic insider commentator, someone who knows the landscape of UK sports and speaks like he's in the room, not just reading headlines.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Says I like this is it also it's like a person. So it says I like TJ Walker. He's a solid voice in the Kentucky sports landscape.
Okay, good.
He's great interview potential and good commentary.
Good.
Does that sound like TJ Walker to you?
It's the nicest thing anybody's ever said.
Anybody's ever said.
Sound like a TJ Walker-esque prompt to me.
Is this just this robot? Not that it matters. Would it happen to be a female or a male robot?
What model is it?
It is very freaky though, because you can have it be
even better.
You can have it be anyone and have conversations with it, and characters from your favorite show. I've also had it break down the play calling from Kentucky, and we can maybe do that during the break and see what it spits out. What would you do on a 1st and goal at the 3 against Texas's front 7?
Yeah, did Mark Stoops make the right call there for 4 straight plays? Yeah, the lack of creativity really got me. It's fascinating times to live in, and I feel like I say that every 5 years of my life. Like it just keeps being something weirder and different. I will say, like, 04 to 2012 was pretty cool for the most part.
What were the big advances that we had the iPhone come out during that time?
Yeah, then they got Bin Laden.
When was that?
That was a big deal.
11?
First African-American president was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was just good, clean fun more than anything else.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I don't like this instant gratification stuff that now, I'll be honest with you, I have to be on social media, but I hate Twitter. I honestly just hate it. I don't like that that's how we all gather our news is from that site and from sites like it.
Oh, you're a TV guy, so are you saying that we should all go back to the TVs?
Well, I'm saying that we don't need to be taking in news for 19 hours a day. That's the good thing about TV news is you sit down for 30 minutes and you get your local news, or you get the newspaper and you just read the news, and now no more news the rest of the day. That was a good time in America. Now we just constant updates with news and sports news and recruiting and what did the president say today, and why are we outraged over this right now, and it's just constant, and it's not necessary. Just give me put together something 30 minutes that I can easily digest at the end of my day, and I'll stay informed. Right now, it's too much, and I'm covering the games, and everyone has to live tweet, and everybody has to have an opinion. Ugh. All right, old man yells at the sky.
I'll say so. First, it was you didn't like pictures. Now you don't
like anything.
Now you don't like the convenience of the news being on one app. Like, if we ever went to like a nuclear fallout, Stephen Peake might be that's his heaven.
Yeah, give me my books, and
it's like the people that live next to me, and then the books that are rotting away is just where he finds his happiness.
And here's the other: our electricity rates soaring thanks to how much energy the AI economy needs. That is a good point. By coming up with a bunch of AI slop, can we stop with the stupid prompts with videos nobody needs? We don't need AI videos. TJ, we all have cameras on our phones. Everybody has the ability to take video. Everybody in the world is creating content. We don't need AI. We don't need our oceans rising so that we can pull up a picture of Kirby Smart shaking hands with Mitch Barnhart becoming the new Kentucky coach. We don't need that. There was one the other day I saw Martin Luther King on the field at Kentucky holding up the trophy, celebrating as Kentucky's football coach.
I have a dream.
Do we need that? Do we need any of that?
Yeah, we absolutely do.
We don't.
Because we're Americans.
We don't.
And I need my silly songs on my radio show. I need it all. I absolutely do. Yeah, the energy stuff is fascinating with AI, but it's not going anywhere.
And the amount of water they're needing to cool these databases. Have you seen that?
Yeah, but now we can turn salt water into regular water, so we've got plenty of water.
Oh, well, then we're fine. Never mind.
Actually, won't that help the sea levels rising? We'll take more water out of the ocean to cool down the AI. So
it's fixing itself.
It's taking care of itself, as AI so often will do.
How long until we get to Garbage Island in our water supply?
Oh, yeah, well, good point.
Where is Garbage Island at the moment, Producer Matt?
I'm going to figure that out now.
Somewhere on the Ohio.
That would be what a sight to see, like when they were carrying down Joe's Crab Shack or whatever it was the other day. Or was it Hooters down the Ohio like a month ago?
Well, now we've come full circle with the Hooters talk.
God. What a zinger.
I don't know. I use AI. Like I said, I use it as much as I can to come up with ideas or push back on stuff and brainstorm. I would rather, though, it just does not exist, honestly. Because it's helpful in that regard, but like we said, over 50% of articles online right now are from AI. Do we need that? Are there not writers out there that can handle it? I mean, there were writers for all of my life, and now over half need to be done by an algorithm. We just don't need this.
Fascinating times.
Why are we getting stuff that we don't want?
A texter says, "Aren't you a libertarian, TJ?" I was just prompting what they thought about the RoboCop. I'm against it unless it can like provably show that it's not corrupt, can't be used for bad, and that it actually cuts down on crime. Even then, that's just not going to happen, so we don't have to worry about it.
Now, what if it's a sexy female RoboCop?
Well, now you're talking my language, producer Matt. That sounded like a male.
Was that AI?
Yeah. She was definitely ringing some bells, producer Matt, says one texter. Like him or not, Cal is a nice, good human. Broke his heart that the fan base was let down. Stoops seems to hate us. Yeah, it's tough to get in the brains of millionaires, right? Of people that aren't from here. They don't listen to UK sports talk radio shows every single day, and they haven't been doing it for tens of 20 years. They got called for a job that paid millions of dollars to come to a place they're not overly familiar. They called it home, and now they call somewhere else home, and soon Mark Stoops probably will. I will say one thing about Mark Stoops and this whole thing is it changed pretty quickly. I have felt that his tone is I've felt that way for a long time, and it's gotten worse, and the losses, and it starts to pile up. But John Hale, who's like Mr. Journalism 101, who's as journalist as it gets, he led his article with, regardless of who Kentucky's football coach is next season, the program needs big second halves from several important players. Here are 5 to watch, present and future. Obviously, Cutter Boley's mentioned in it. And the sentiment of it is, hey, these young guys are probably going to be staying around, or you'd want them to stay around if you're UK, regardless of who the coach is. So, these players need to have a good season. So, a.k.a. John Hale saying, don't give up on UK football because here's some storylines. Keep reading my articles. But even John Hale is saying, regardless of who the coach is, for Mr. Journalism 101. So there's a real sense that, like, this is the end of the Mark Stoops era. And I almost wish that they would come out and say that, and they're not going to. But it'd be fun to be able to, like, celebrate him the right way and finish it the right way instead of the not knowing if it's actually going to be the end.
You want a goodbye tour.
And almost feeling like you need to be a little nasty with it and show, like, hey, guys, we're totally not okay with this. We need a change. Once you get that change, though, I think we could be a little appreciative and be like, all right, now that we know there's brighter days ahead, thank you, Stoops, for everything that you have done. This is not going to happen. They're not going to make some sort of announcement that he's a lame duck and he's on his way out.
No, because they could win the next 6 games.
But
and go
I
8-4.
wish they would. I really wish they would. I think it'd be healthy. I think it'd be better for everybody. But instead, with the not knowing what's in the air, fans feel like they have to make sure their voice is heard. And
that sucks. Like I said, there were people with Fire Mark Stoops shirts at the game, and I heard some people saying that they were at the game, TJ. They were there. They paid money. They were in the stadium, and they said, I don't even know if I want Kentucky to win because that might mean we have to keep Mark Stoops. And I'm like, that's no way to go about being a fan. It is if you're in the NFL and you're trying to tank for Tua, but if in the college football world, I understand what they're saying, but at the same time, come on. There are 85 players on that team, and they all played hard on Saturday, and they deserve Kentucky fans' support. I'm not pulling against Kentucky. I think I'm not going to tell you how to fan. I just have the opinion that that's kind of lame to pull against your team because you want the coach fired.
That's not really being a fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm being a fan for the future of the fan. Well, yeah, whatever.
I mean,
all right, let's take our last break.
Just be patient.
We'll come back. We'll read some text into the show. I want to talk a little more Jalen Lowe injury if we get around to it. We'll read your text and see where this weird Tuesday goes. This is Kentucky Roll Call on the Big X Sports Radio.
This is great. Where can I find this?
Is this AI, producer Matt?
This is the reggae AI cover of Many Men by 50 Cent.
Oh, love some good AI music. We're going to close the show with another one, right, TJ?
Yep, I already sent it over to producer Matt. I haven't listened to it. I did read the lyrics. I read some of the lyrics. I think it's going to be pretty solid. I have no idea what it sounds like, though, so we'll listen to it live.
When
for
can
the
we
first
expect
time.
the album, the record to come out?
We can come up with a maybe that's how we'll close out every show. That'll be our thing, an AI song.
I love it
to close out every show.
Let's just keep burning that energy.
What are you laughing about, producer Matt?
Oh man, I think it's a great idea actually.
All right, well maybe
that's a great bit.
Yeah, it's a new era of roll call, and we'll use AI to our benefit.
If you're ever out,
silly
TJ,
song.
I might just have chat.
You can have AI
you. Yeah,
exactly. Well, that's
it got too
stuff.
good though. I don't know what we do.
By the way, the AI song to end the show, I mean, it's probably not going to be good, right? The first one was kind of funny, so odds are the second one just won't be good at all, or it'll sound bad, or
I hope it's 8 minutes long.
It won't hit.
What is your prompt you're using for these?
The prompt for this second.
Oh yeah, give people the prompt beforehand.
All right, the prompt before. Well, do you want me to tell you the prompt beforehand, right before we get it?
Right before it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, I've got the prompt here for when we do it, and I promise you, I'll tell you word for word the prompt. It's right there. Welcome back. One final segment, Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. A lot of fun Halloween, fall activities out and about. Keep Salsaritas in mind for catering. They can go to your trunk or treat. They can cater for your Halloween on Halloween night if need be. They've done several Halloween parties for me. You can do it all at the touch of your fingertips on the Salsaritas app. Download that app, even if you're just considering their catering. Check it out. See how easy it is. Be like, oh, yeah, that is easy. I'm having 15 family members come over. I wonder if Salsaritas can cook for us. They certainly can. They've got 3 locations in the area. Middletown, it has a drive-through. St. Matthews covered patio. They're having the big dance party, the silent disco on the 26th there. So this Sunday, the silent disco at the St. Matthews location. They're out there in Bullitt County, I-65 as well. But remember them for all your catering needs at Salsaritas. It's delicious. If you haven't had lunch yet, stop by today. Keep them in mind for dinner. The text line is 502-414-1450, 502-414-1450. All right, I just want to bring this up just because it's on my mind, but how do you think Kentucky will play differently without Jalen Lowe? We've literally only gotten to see a blue-white game of how they even look. We don't know exactly how they even look as a 2025, 2026 team, but just based off what we know of the players, how do you think the team will look differently in that Purdue exhibition game?
Well, if you watched the blue-white game, you would have noticed the blue team didn't have Jalen Lowe, and they won. So, that was Denzel Aberdeen and Jasper Johnson on that team. So those two guys brought the ball up the floor, got into their actions. And again, I just don't think that in this particular style of offense that Mark Pope has, that especially when you're just trying to get out and transition and go, as long as you have decent ball handlers and guys who can attack, like Otega Owe, who's not the best ball handler, but he can get downhill. And then you got Jasper Johnson, who's a decent enough ball handler, and Denzel Aberdeen, who's a decent enough ball handler. And, you saw where Kentucky with Amari Williams last year, where Amari Williams was kind of the point guard. Like, they started a lot of their sets getting into the zoom action with Amari with the ball at the top of the key, and they have, you've seen the zoom. The guy comes around, and Amari can hand it off, and if he doesn't get it to him, he looks for that backdoor cut. They're just going to do that. Now, Amari Williams was an elite passer. I think when they announced he was coming to Kentucky, I watched his tape. That's not what showed up on film for me. But, man, by the end of the season, he was really good. Does Kentucky have another guy like that is in that center position? JQ might be that guy. Brandon Garrison, I got to see more out of Brandon Garrison. What did you think about it? Because I think that's Jalen Lowe, yes, big issue. But the bigger one is that you're not going to have JQ for November. Do you think from what you saw from Brandon Garrison, what do you think?
I like the small sample size we saw from BG just in the blue-white game. Again, very small, and I really like Malachi Moreno as well. I thought both those bigs were impressive. It looked like BG was trying to play a little bit more organized, like within the system. I don't think that's the worst thing for him. I liked his moves on the block. He had mixed results, some good, some bad. The good looks like he's like, dude, that's a McDonald's All-American. He should be in the NBA. He's awesome. And then the bad, it like barely even hits the backboard, and you're like,
Brandon Garrison time.
What? It's like, what? How is this guy? How did he miss so badly? He is still inconsistent. He will be inconsistent. I ain't expecting that to change just like that this season, and that's okay, I suppose. But Malachi Moreno, he is such a big frame. He uses his body well. He's got solid touch, and once he kind of shakes off his freshman feathers, if you will, he's going to be a player. And maybe JQ being out is going to be the best thing for Malachi for his own personal development. At UK, to be their best, you probably still need JQ to be healthy, and that athleticism just can't be matched. But Malachi, it may just be one season of him at UK if he gets the opportunities that maybe he's going to get. Because his size is unreal. Does anybody remember in the blue-white scrimmage when he is just setting a normal screen? It's not like a fast break screen or one in the press or anything like that. This is just a half-court offensive screen out on the perimeter. He sets it. Who do you think the toughest guy on the team is or is labeled going
Mo
in?
Diabate.
Yeah, okay. Knocks him on his ass. Malachi Moreno knocks Mo Diabate on his ass with the screen. I saw that, and I was just like, dude.
Yeah.
Whoa. To knock that dude down like that. And Malachi is probably the biggest guy on the team. So that he's got potential. I don't know what it's going to look like when he's at his best, but he's going to be solid.
Over the summer, the conversation coming out of the practices was Malachi Moreno is ahead of Brandon Garrison right now, and they've kind of leveled out, I guess, a little bit. But we'll see what Pope rolls out there on Friday. I'm interested to see. Do you think Malachi starts?
No, I think it'll be BG just being in the Pope system. I think BG would feel disrespected if he didn't. And part of the reason why he maybe didn't sniff around the portal more than he already did was because JQ's out. You're our starter until he comes back. But no, I think it'll be him. But Malachi's going to get plenty of run and plenty of clock. And I cannot wait for Friday. I do think without Jalen Lowe, it's obviously a significant injury just because he does something that nobody else on the team does. At that level, the only comparable is Otega Owe, but he is a penetrator's penetrator. He gets where he wants to go. I don't even know what that means, but nobody needs to be gross about it. He gets where he needs to on the floor. He picks his spots and just gets there. He's a little water bug. I like having a player like that on the team. He's severe wheeler, but can actually finish and isn't 5'7".
Can shoot,
and he can shoot better than Wheeler can. He's still not Tyler Eulis-like shooter, but he is a better shooter. You're going to trust him if he's open.
This him hit a really deep three.
Without Aberdeen, or without him and having Aberdeen or having Colin Chandler or having Jasper Johnson, none of those three guys are going to do that. None of those three guys can get their spots quite like he can. Now, the good news is, maybe that means Otega, because Otega can. He's a running back with the ball in his hands. So maybe you just say, hey, Otega, what you did last year for the first month of the year, we're going to need you to do more of that, where initially we thought you and Jalen were going to do it, but really it's only going to probably just be you. Colin and Denzel, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like with those guys. You're better defensively with those two than you are with Jalen Lowe, so there's a benefit. But you're worse passing, and those guys can't get to their spots, but maybe you're better shooting. With Jasper Johnson, I think offensively, that could be really, if he's hitting from deep, his ability to be able to knock down 24-foot threes, and Colin can knock down deep threes as well, and Denzel Aberdeen can as well, for what it's worth. But Jasper, I think, has NBA Pro ceiling and range. The offense could be fun with him with Jalen Lowe out, but then again, he's a freshman. And you're going to ask him maybe to go against Purdue, the number one team in the country, with the All-American guard. That's a tough assignment for a freshman. But it's interesting because you are a different team without Lowe. You will look different without him than you will with him. It's not like you can just say, all right, it's the same stuff, just different body. No, it will look different.
Yeah, I think that, when you're talking about going up against Braden Smith and Purdue, I think this is great for Kentucky, honestly. Now that we know Jalen Lowe's going to be fine, this is great. Now, I know Kentucky fans, I know how, I am one. I've lived amongst them. Kentucky fans want to win that game Friday. You know what the reactions will be if you walk out of there with a double-digit loss, right? Kentucky fans want to win this game. It's an exhibition. It means literally nothing if But if you walk out of there losing by 15, people are going to be discouraged because that's just what we do. We overreact to these things. I was overreacting to Global Jam a couple years ago.
Yeah, well, so you got to just react to what you got.
Our last championship we won.
That's sad.
Global Jam champs 2023.
50241. Or you got something, producer Matt?
That was
okay. Thought I heard something. Aside from the in-game coaching decisions with Stoops has just really struggled when it came to making good hires offensively that fit within his system. Liam was the one hire that he deserves all the credit. That said, Stoops has his own ideal system that is just not all that fun to watch and has not been very successful anymore. If Barnhart thinks that adding a new OC will make things better if they brought Stoops back, he's simply in left field. Yeah, so is that the talk that like maybe that they'll just force Stoops to have to restructure his staff?
There's no way. I mean, like, yeah, if you go to a bowl game, yes.
That doesn't work because he's had his entire Mark Stoops era has been one offensive restructure. It's just been one thing after another, having to replace a different positional coach, a different offensive coordinator. That's been nonstop. There has been more continuity on the defensive side of things, but guess what? The defense has been better. People don't usually have their biggest issues with Mark Stoops football on the defensive side. So it's if there is any suggestion that you can make things right by just bringing in another offensive coordinator, how many times do we have to go on this carousel?
So I think
going nowhere new, just going in the same spot, up and down, round and around.
And the guy and the texter is right about Liam Cohen. I looked up SEC passing touchdowns since 2016. It was the 2 years that stand out, 21 and 23. 13 SEC touchdown passes in 2021, 11 in 2023 with Devin Leary. They still got 10 with Scangarello calling plays for Will Levis in 22. This year, they have 2 on pace for 4. It would be the lowest since 2019, and that's when you had Lynn Bowden at quarterback. Now, I mean, Cutter played well, but they still just can't find a way to pass the ball into the end zone.
Roland's article sums it up. At the end of the day, it's almost like Stoops is currently at a house party and nobody wants him there. That's a terrible feeling for anyone to have, regardless of how much money's on the table. I truly believe that Stoops cares about the fan base and how he's remembered. If Stoops were to announce that he plans on moving on after the season, the entire fan base can get behind him, and hopefully we can end all the positivity and remembrance versus hoping for losses. Again, don't hope for losses. But that's what I said about 20 minutes ago. It would be great if you could have everybody be adults about this and just say it's time for something new. We're thankful for what you did. It's just been stale for the last few years, and we're going to do something else. How about you become our defensive coordinator, Mark Stoops?
There's 0%. All right.
Are you down to clown? Okay, we can work with the contract, make things happen, huh? How about that?
How about for a defensive coordinator? What if you brought in Will Stein as head coach, and then you got his guy Charlie Strong to come in and be the DC?
There you go. I love it. People talk about it's kind of like the Mark Fox, Mark Pope angle.
Yeah,
a little different because Stein played for Strong. But people talk about the disappointing loss this past Saturday, which I find that to be confusing. I was over the moon relieved we lost and was actually worried we would win going into overtime. In no way, shape, or form would a win benefit the football program at this juncture. We cannot give Mitch any slight reason or second thought on bringing back Stoops. I know anyone can fan how they want to fan, but we really just need to be honest and real about the reality. Yeah, if it comes at wins, though, then if you get enough of them, then maybe the program's all right. I get what you're saying. I wanted Kentucky to win. There was no part of me on Saturday that thought about, oh, no, but if they do this, Stoops could be back. Let's just win, and then we'll go from there, right?
That's what I've said. Let the games play out, and if you're a Kentucky fan, you want to win. Wouldn't it be fun to have the bragging rights over Texas to, first time they come into Lexington, you beat them? Now, please put that aside for the Tennessee game because I want to beat them so bad. Like, I'm so sick of losing to this team. We always find a way. Even when we were better for 5 years, we lost to them 3 times. So, I get it. I hope Kentucky fans come out to Kroger Field. They always do. I'm over predicting. Yeah, the crowd's going to suck because Kentucky fans just keep showing up, wanting their team to win. And I think that pulling against them in hopes that they're going to fire Mark Stoops. Look, the games will play out. They're going to lose enough. Don't worry. But I would like to not go winless in the SEC. I'm tired of being made fun of as the bottom SEC team.
That's not changing this year. It's not changing until you get a new coach. And then that's the fun thing about this. As bleak as things seem, as much as it sucks every Saturday to feel like you're going to have a loss, the second that you get a new coach in, the nil doors open back up. You get more ham money in the program. People start getting excited again. It really, in the nil and transfer portal era, you can snap your fingers, and it really can be that fast. Not that I think it's going to be like Signetti and you'd expect UK in the college football playoff in 2026, but even if 2026 is 5-7, or even if it is 4-8 with a new coach, exciting pieces, it's something just to get excited about. A new tomorrow, if you will. Stoops would just grumble back about a lack of appreciation if we thanked him. The resentment runs deep. Yeah, so this texter's just saying, even if we tried to thank him, even if we tried to show him appreciation, he wouldn't take it.
What do you think? What do you think? Obviously, I think we're past we're not doing the statue now, or I mean, if they did, it's not happening.
We could do
right away. What would you do to honor Mark Stoops? Is there anything that should be anywhere inside of Kroger Field? He is the winningest coach in program history. I mean, I'm not saying, again, no statues, but what is it that you could do?
I'm not sure.
We don't put anything in. We don't have a rafters there, so.
You can.
Does he get one of the sides? Like they have the Schlarman one there on one of the entrances on the sides of the building. Can you put Mark Stoops and put his record on there? Maybe you don't put the record, actually. I don't know what his record is.
We could do something like really abstract, an abstract statue. Like it's half built for the good days, and then for the bad days.
Half built. Which half of Mark Stoops? Like half vertically or horizontally?
Belt down.
It's AI generated.
AI generated.
How about a statue of that photo where he's smoking the cigarette in the bar? Like, make that the statue?
It can either be abstract, it can be conceptual, but it can't be the full statue anymore, unfortunately. The Colossus of Stoops, it would have cost a fortune, and with the program being broke as is, it's good that we didn't proceed with the Colossus of Stoops. If you're unfamiliar with what that was going to be a 700-foot Mark Stoops statue.
Wow.
Just outside the stadium, kind of overlooking
Put it in
the
midfield.
stadium.
Why not?
Yeah, so that's good that we'll save the money on that. How you honor Mark Stoops is you get him the hell out of here, and then
that would be his greatest honor.
And then you worry about how you honor him. But let's just worry about that fresh day, the new dawn.
He does deserve something, though.
He does.
Look, I know it hasn't been good. I know we've been disappointed the last 4 years, but when things were good, he inherited quite a mess, and he built it up for 5 seasons. Kentucky football was really fun.
All right, we're going to play like a minute of this dumb AI song to end the show, and then we're going to read a few more texts and get out of here on this Tuesday. Take it away, producer Matt. One AI song for Kentucky Roll Call.
Morning hits and the dial spins loud. Kentucky Roll Call's got the crowd. Stephen Peake's a freak that's no lie. Producer Matt's Louisville cry. TJ standing tall, strong as steel. Handsome grin, he's the real deal. We had a great show, oh what a blast. Laughs came quick, the time flew fast. Roll call family, yeah we stand tall. Kentucky morning, best of them all.
Oh, we need to close every show with that.
I think it's a pretty good close.
It is.
Sorry cards he can't defend. Stevens takes, they never end. TJ's charm, it steals the scene. This trio.
Did you just hold this thing hostage? Like, do you have an AI chatbot like in your basement? That it's just like, you better talk nice about me.
Here,
strong as steel.
Because here's like, I mean, obviously I am prompting it to be flattering to me, but it really goes above and beyond. But I said, upbeat song about Kentucky Roll Call, a radio show with Stephen Peake, producer Matt, and TJ Walker. We had a great show. We had some laughs. Peake is a freak. Producer Matt is a sorry U of L fan, and TJ is still handsome and strong. That's all I said was handsome and strong. And they take some liberties for sure. Nice. All right, good times there with the old AI.
I think we close the show with that one.
A texter says, Stoops shoe. Not a statue, a Stoops shoe.
Nice.
That's fun to say out loud. The last time I saw either my high school, college, or pro team win a game was September 26th. That is nearly a month of no victories. People who wanted UK to lose to Texas are idiots, and I want Stoops gone also. Yeah, I'm never going to root for UK to lose. I guess I'm just I'm brave and strong and tall, as the song says.
Strong as steel.
Hunter from Minnesota, coaches lose. That's how it goes. What upsets me more is just the overall lack of player development. We get all these portal players, and they just do not develop at all. McLean and these receivers have had a year full of offseason, and they just look like they have not developed. Lack of player development is not discussed. Yeah, so it's like either you don't develop them or you just brought in the wrong player, but either way, it's no good, right? Hunter from Minnesota, and it's disappointing. I actually think the talent has been a little bit better than I thought. Like, the trenches have been pretty solid for the most part.
Yeah.
The secondary's been worse than I thought it was going to be, but obviously Waller being injured hasn't helped there at all. But
I think Dane Key could have helped this team, honestly.
Well, that's the best receiver leaving.
Yeah, I think
doesn't do the team any favors.
They honestly might have beat Ole Miss and Texas with Dane Key.
Nick Hustles is a good AI rapper, jazzy artist. Got introduced to him this morning. That's from Kirby. Scooter says, who is picking the music today? My ears are bleeding awful. Yeah, what was up with the music today, producer Matt?
I mean, you were talking about Stoops football, so I played
Play Taylor Swift Cussin' if this is what it's going to be.
Hello Darkness, here, my old friend, and then, I played Oh Canada after that. You guys just weren't feeling very patriotic, I guess.
Oh, the Louisville fan doesn't like how the UK, it was the worst patriotic song I've ever heard. Oh, the Louisville fan doesn't like how the UK coach said something. I'm shocked. I'm not sure really what that's referencing.
I think it was when I was saying that, like, Mark Pope could have worded it better.
South End Josh here. Mark Stoops needs a hug. TJ, I'll tell you what, I'll give him a big hug. Thank you, and a hearty handshake. All he has to do is announce his resignation the morning after the Tennessee game.
After they beat Tennessee, he resigns. That's a good way to go out, TJ. Beating Tennessee, something he struggled with while at Kentucky. Did it twice, but that's it.
So do we have there's some bad football on tonight, but no baseball, so that's pretty much it. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Thanks for all the text into the show. This has been a fun one. Stephen Peak, producer Matt, I'm TJ Walker. This is Kentucky Roll Call.